Well, the Brandon airport reported at daybreak this morning minus 51. So yeah, she was a humdinger. Now it's supposed to be minus 32 tonight, but last night was, or this morning was the worst. Tonight's supposed to be cold, but that's supposed to be the last. That's supposed to be the end of the cold snap, and then we're start warming up to crazy numbers. Welcome back. Thank you for clicking on the channel. Yeah, I am just walking around counting my blessings, giving thanks to the water trough gods. Hey, sweetie. She was one of the first ones born last year, and as you can tell by the ears, she was born on a rather cold night. So was Eddie's sister back there, that little Hereford with the short ears. So we're just doing a final walkthrough because we're figuring out, like, that's a little, and then there's a little right there. Those are the ones that are staying back, and we'll background them ourselves. But I was going to show you this because I was just watching Sask Dutch Farmer. It's a dairy farming channel. It's a bigger channel, like big subscriber numbers. I just like watching them because I used to be a dairy farmer, and I do still like to watch a certain amount of dairy farming videos. And they were cleaning up their water troughs during the hard seasons, and I was going to show you this. So you can see the jawbone. So they actually keep this open as they're drinking. And the irony is, I don't like to chip as much of this ice away as possible. I know it's dancing with the proverbial death, because if something goes wrong, you've got all this to get out of the way. But preventative maintenance, hiring professionals to come in and resistance check all the parts, so you know you're not about to have an element go capraki on you. This actually helps insulate it. So, but when it turns warm, I'm going to clean these up. So yeah, we're just going to get about doing our lunchtime. It's same as like I said last time, 12:15. So I'm doing my walkthrough. Just doing a last check because, like I said, if we are hauling, my hand's going numb. If we are hauling cabs this weekend, we're doing the last decision making on who out of this pen stays. So Tina is a definite. You all know Phoenix is a definite. She's over there somewhere. Wraith was on the maybe list, but it's not looking like it now because between Tina and Phoenix, and then we have to keep back the Herefords because our buyer is not a Hereford fan. So we would just take a hit on the price on those, so we might as well keep them back and breed them ourselves. And then we have a bunch of smalls that we're going to keep back, plus Ricer's kid with the frozen hawks. You can't even pick her out now. They finally healed over. There she is, right there. Middle of the screen. So yeah, she lost her tail too. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, she lost half her tail. And she cracked both her hawks. So we'll have to keep her back because, well, she's injured, and plus she's been on medication. You can see she's very stiff-legged, but that's because she's got very tough skin back there. And then, yeah, these guys all go. There's there's a bull and there's a steer in this pen that stay back. So there's a bull, which is Nicky. He's our last homebred bull we will ever keep. And then right there in the middle of the screen is the steer that's staying, because he's kind of small. So we'll background him with the little toddy heifers, and then we'll throw Nicky over in there with the second timers because he can't get into too much trouble there, and there's calves in there. So okay, I'm gonna get about my day and we'll bring you back if anything happens. Let's get on. Okay, so Liam got the mountain done for us. Now the next project, to get this opened out to here, because checking my calendar, 3 weeks we start melting. I know it will be up and down, but we actually start melting in 3 weeks. So this stuff needs to start going that direction. Yeah. And this is what we have to work with. This is where having that backhoe, yes, I know everybody knows about it. Piper Duck's backhoe that never moves. This is where that would come to play. Because as this blew in, the cows kept walking on it, just kept packing it. Well, this debt's now coming due, and this guy's getting the baptism in fire, so I'm trying to be as easy on him as possible, but I just gotta chip away, and then that way I can just take like a foot and just pop, 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 pop all the way out, and then start dragging that yard out to here, because at least once it's out there, it'll go in that direction and not that direction. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Anyway. Sorry, bud. It's time to go to work. Well, welcome into the inner sanctum. That's the farm that I grew up in. Milked 240 Holstein cows. And at certain points of the year, we milked 3 times a day. Yeah. Anyway, so I brought you in because I'm showing you what I've been working on. So, this is looking down from the north. So the cows were in here. The cows are now in both of these. There's nothing in here yet. As you can see, this is where the cab cows go. And this is where the bull pen is, because angle, then there's their gate. So typically, because there's the feed passage, this is what we call the feed rail, the concrete slab. Typically what we would do, we would just set panels up like we have, and then the maternity pen would just sit here, and we'd have some corral gates just set up to make like an entry pen, and then that's how we would calve out the cows out in the open. Well, like you can see, we put a calving barn, and yes, it's maybe not quite perfectly as things have happened out there, but that's a different story. So the one thing that early cow having the dead twins kind of got my old brain going was, how do we be more prepared? Kind of like with Piper Doug's Alcatraz fencing, like that's hyper fencing. This will be hyper setup. This way that one person can trap a cow and get her in if she's in trouble by themselves, middle of the night, worst case scenario. And that's what everything has to be built for. So, what's now going to be happening this year is, from here over, see right now at this time of year, previous, there would be no panels here at all. We would only, as more cows fill into this pen, we would then split this pen. That's why it's called the split pen. We would split it and give them this back half, and then these girls would still have this. This railing would move its way up the pen until we would just close that off, and then we would have an alleyway right down into the calving pen. Well, if you had a cow trying to steal another cow's calf at birth, you would have to like chase them in and out. Or if you had a cow with trouble and she was over here, because they typically want to be over here for some reason in this northeast corner, you would bring them down and then they'd be into this pen. So then you'd have to get them again and chase them and into here, because this would be set up. Now, what's going to end up happening is, most of the time the cows understand this is easy. They come round here through these 2 gates and into here freely. Well, what they won't realize is when we know there's somebody here calving or in trouble or just cowing calf to process, as we come out, we'll bring this gate from here round, lock it, bring this gate that'll be either wrapped round here or back round here. We'll bring it here and lock it. So as they come down here and then they realize, oh, that's not good, they're already trapped. I'll bring you in closer. They're already trapped in here. So as they make their way forward, we bring this gate in behind them, lock it, and they are in a controlled environment now. This is a complete control. Any shaded areas are controlled environments. So then you come up, you open this gate, and you could have this gate locked to here at this point. So you bring them in, and as they get to here, you bring this gate up behind them, and they're in this controlled environment. What is different about what can happen here now is, if you bring a bunch of animals, because you couldn't get the one by herself, you could have that gate to here, this gate to here, so this is all wide open. So then you bring the group all the way through here, and then, well, this gate would be closed, and then you can process off the ones you don't want, or grab the one you do want and bring her back to here. Close that gate, close this gate behind the one you want, and stick her back in here. And then you bring these gates back, and then let that lot back out. So then your animal, there's a gate here that closes the front of the shelter to the south. So then that's sort of like the crowding tub gate. Closes them in, and then this is the maternity pen here. So then there's a gate here that pushes them into the maternity pen, and then there's 2 holding pens here, and then the alleyway out. So for the majority of the time during calving season, these 2 gates will be chained together. So this will be a completely closed holding area in here, and that's the gate out. So yeah, this is the bull pen, and then this is their gate here. What would be nice if we can figure out a way to make a gate within a gate. So when this gate is closed this way, the inside part of the gate folds out that way, and then we have like a little alleyway, so we can walk a bull down into here and then into the maternity pen and use that to medicate, fix a foot, whatever, and or we just back the cattle trailer in and load them into the trailer to take them to the vets or whatever. So it's all, everything is double duty. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, you're going to have these gates that do double duty. This front gate on the calving barn is double duty because it closes that in to make that a pen, but it's also like a crowding tub into here. This gate, same thing. And these 2 gates, same thing. The concrete's already there, and now this is attached to it. So that's what you're going to see when we're out in the pens. And we now are starting to get these gates built. This is what we're leading up to. So I'll keep this around so that way that if anyone ever has questions, I'll just refer back to this. Because like I said, I've had other drafts and just kind of trying to refine it to make it where it's a bit more easy for me to describe to people and easy for laymen to understand. Going back to a previous video, I had talked about my calendars. And then I went and forgot to show you all. So, these are the calendars. And yes, I keep them all. I have every calving calendar as far back as whenever. So, this is right now. And like I said, I keep very detailed, itemized. So, this morning, minus 30. Yesterday morning, minus 51. So I talk about everything that's happening, bedded, oat straw, and I track what feed gets put out on what days. That way you can pretty well gauge what your feed usage is and going by temperature. See, cold, 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 and then nice, nice, and then yeah, 10, 11 days straight of cold. So 2024, it was minus 32 on the 26th of February. Started calving on the 27th. 2023, didn't start calving until March 7th, but we've actually started moving our calving dates. So yeah, you'll see X's, that's just days without calving. So that is my calving calendars, because as you go through the year, like I said, everything's in there. There you go. Last year, March 11th, there was puddles everywhere. Yeah, that's a calf that didn't make it. Flooding on March 15th. So there you go. Brought out the diatomaceous earth. A calf got weaned. We froze back up. Hot box the calves. See, everything's in there. Because like I said, Piper Doug, here's my Daisy. Piper Doug does not have the best memory, but this is also good just for record's sake. So, that's the Piper Doug calendars. If anyone can use that, then great. Just getting caught up on Luthi Ranch. If anyone hasn't checked out that channel. Really, that's a great channel. Calving a pretty big herd of cows, and look at that for a backdrop. Amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna keep at this, and it's 12 o'clock. Time to go to work. And remember, everybody, on these cold spells, give praise to the powers that be if your water troughs are still working. Always. And yes, there's Squirtsy's big boy in the bale feeder every dang day. In the bale feeder. He's not the smartest guy. So for those new, this is our other handling facility prior to the other conversation across the road. We set this up every year. We used to have other systems, but after years and years of learning the hard way, this is what I came up with. So yeah, we set up the sorting tub and the handling system down there. 2 panels. We have a butt gate. I went and installed a second butt gate just inside to bring them, when you get them up to the tub, that they can't come back at all. We barely ever use it. It's kind of redundant, but it's nice to have. So we got the butt gate there. We got the holding gate here just after you come out of the funnel. So once you get around the corner, they're good. So you'll see a couple of gates sitting here. What's that for? I might need to remember to come in and grab that out of the snow. It's kind of frozen, because we're going to need that one. So what are we looking at? Pardon my sniffing. Who's this? Here's Bo. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. And numpties. So what are we looking at? So the reason we have it set up like this, and it's not just because, well, they're spaced out. No. What happens here is we feed them there and here, and then on the day we process, we make sure this bale feeder is full. Why? Look at this guy. He will just squeeze his way in. He can barely get back out. Quite often I have to lift the bale feeder off him because he's just that dumb. Anyway, we make sure this is full. Then this gate change from there to here. These guys don't know that. So when you trap them in here on the last feed the night before, because that panel comes up and chains in here once they're fed, they don't know you trap them, done. So when you put this panel in here and then you run them round the corner, they think they go back out, but they don't, do ya? So then you have them in this box. So that gate there is a controller again, chained. We never need it. We haven't used it, but it's there. Like I said, double redundancies. So once they're in here, they're in and they're away. So this is one of the walls. Hey, buds. Hey, buddy. This is one of the walls that's getting replaced this year. So is that one over there getting replaced, and so is that back wall there. So it's just time. This one got damaged by that huge storm last year too, some of you might remember. Anyway, so when we rebuild this, and it's going to be the heavier duty, like that stuff that Jeremy did for us last year, that will help with this being more. So we can put hinges on and different things. So yeah, that's our little system. It doesn't stay, and yes, I've been told, why don't you just build it permanently? This part here I might build permanently. This part, no. Because once we have all of the north side built permanently, we're going to have lots of panels sitting around. So it doesn't take much to set these up. And they're not in the way, because once these guys are gone, the only things in here are the golden girls. And most of the time, there's only a half dozen pair. So, okay, I'm going to keep on my tour. Me and Bo. Yeah, you got an itch? You got an itch? Oh, yeah, you got an itch. Oh, you gave you a tremor there. Oh, yeah, there's Tripod. That's my big Stumpers boy. He was over in the Golden Girls paddock by the house. Dislocated his back leg. You would not have a clue he was ever lame. Made a huge recovery. That was a hard trip to take his mum up the road, but had to do right by her. Okay, Bo, I gotta go, son. What do you do when you know there's warmer weather coming and a lot of sunshine? Start staging your bales, folks. Because as you know, when you've got bales laid single like this, and you get this stuff, you get this ridge of ice, the ice bars. Get them out, drop them from high, shake the stuff off, and let them melt. Melt! Because if you, well, I think most of you will watch BCP Farm and Trucking, excellent show. Brandon and Kathy, brilliant people. They have problems with deer wrecking their bales. And we had a lot of damage on our number 1 hay that was still out in the field there. It's just in the middle of the screen there, sitting single stacked. But what we noticed was the deer did not eat through the net wrap. They would never, for whatever reason, they won't dig through the net wrap. They'll find a spot that's already torn, like when you get a baler mess up and it takes a ring out of it, they'll take that apart. But wherever the bales are laying down, they'll hollow out the end cores, but they won't go through the net wrap. And I've noticed that back in the yard there, because some of them are still coming in, but they won't try and take away from the outside. They got to go to the ends, and that's one of the reasons why you get them in sausage stack. That way you don't have too many ends. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting, because twine leaves a lot more hay exposed. Net wrap does not. Hence they keep weather out too. Anyway, I'm going to keep staging. I'm going to do about 2 groupings. Yes, I'm taking them out 2 at a time there, buddy. But they're just going to there and getting dropped. Then I'll carry them back to the yard 1 at a time. And then, yeah, we'll get back to pushing snow at the back of the yard. Get on! Oh, yep, we're back here. So, what are we doing? Well, the thing I was wanting to have done was I was wanting to have my the proper quick hitch for this tractor, which the quick hitch that showed up wasn't the right one, and I can't return it. But I've now got a line on a proper category 3 quick hitch, because the one that was supposed to be bought was a category 3. Turns out it's a category 1 that he sent me. So I can put the grader blade on this to get a good road plowed into here. But what I've ended up doing is just, I've made a turning point here onto the road, and then I've also made a turning point there at the first shelter belt. And that way I can get in, set the trailer, and I don't have to drive too far and fetch. I should be able to get at least 100 bales from that staging ground there without having to trek back and forward too many times with the loader just with 2 straw bales on the front. But that'll do for now. At least I'll be able to get a good chunk of what's left out here done, because like I said, there's not much left in this first paddock. So as you can see, there was a ton of snow here in front of Neighbor Man's house. Hey Durl! But that way it gives me a nice big wide approach for that long trailer. Because I know it's not a big trailer when it comes to semi-trailers, but it's big enough to get in and out of old field approaches. Because if you look at this, yeah, that's probably all of 6 or 7 feet up along the road there, so I had to punch that through and then get it away so it doesn't just blow in, and then I had to elongate the outer so that way I can take the tractor out beyond the road to get the trailer out without hitting the ditch. So, yeah, so we'll hopefully get back to hauling straw here shortly, just that way I'm ready for it in the nice weather. Yeah. On the White Ridge Mountains over Canton, Piper Dog is pushing up snow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm getting this cleared off because you saw in the last clip, opening up space to get the bales in. Well, that wall needs done, and then this wall needs done. Because yeah, we're getting to the end of February, but there is still some winter storms to come. Our rule is normally by March 1st there's 3 more storms. That does usually serve as well. What are you doing, wee girl? Your nose in the ear. Yeah. I think it's just soaking up the last of the sunshine. It's supposed to be minus 29 with a wind chill tonight. And then we start warming up like crazy, so see, I've got to get this all out of here to then start getting all this out of here to then at some point we'll be getting the bigger bucket for the skid steer for Liam to get that go to there. By that point, that will be the White Ridge Mountains of Canton, because this is all snow here. This is hard pack, and this is kind of half and half. And then there is lumber in here. Not there, but right there. So I'll have to pick around that. But this is the most snow I've ever seen in the back of here. Ever. 30 years we've been here, so I'm gonna keep pushing. Holy moly. Man, there's a lot of snowpack right there. Well, sun's getting low. It is time to do final check for supper. Yeah, well, I'm thinking we're probably going to be good chance of having new babies born by the weekend. Fingers crossed. They'll just wait one more day. That way we can make sure they're all safe and sound. Everybody seems to be just tickety-boo. They got their new tubs today. This little Miss Oslin. I can't tell if that's Jade. No, it's not Jade. Who is that? It's another one of them that lost their tags. Penny's huge. So yeah, there's a couple that are pretty big. There's only one in the second timers that's real close, but that doesn't mean anything in this world. Big Eileen, she's getting quite swole. And we got the 2 in here that we're watching real close. They got their tub. Yeah, they got their new tub. And then there's a couple, the Hereford, little Astro's starting to come on, and so is Peanutters. So yeah, stacking and racking, folks. I'm just gonna park this fella outside tonight. It's not going to be that terribly cold, so that way I can get the workshop ready for making some geets. Oh gosh, oh, it's so nice. We're on the cusp, and for the long range forecast, as far as you can see, daytime highs are right around about 0. Night times are still going from a -2, -4. And then the longest of the long range is back to -10, which is still good. It'd be nice to get a nice, good frost at night. I'm under no misconceptions. I know we get -30 still in March, so that's not a problem. Anyway, if I don't bring you back after this, thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, so nice to have this guy back in action. He had a little burp. I don't know if I said that. Yesterday morning when I went to bring him out of the workshop, he died. So I think there was still a little bit of air bubbles in the system for me running him empty. So I bled him and got him going, and then filled him back up again today. And he's worked just lickety. So anyway, I'm gonna leave you here. And like I said, if I don't bring you back, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. You never know, we might have a baby. I really hope not. I'd like to wait for our due date, which is the 24th. So, fingers crossed, folks. Teddy bye.